Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin McCarthy could be replaced by Donald Trump with just 5 Republicans, according to Politico. I did a segment on that prior to this one. That was with a Politico article a couple of days ago. This is from a Financial Times article today. Okay? This is from a Financial Times article a couple of hours ago. McCarthy struck a tone after making several rounds of concessions to his critics, including rule changes that would make it easier to call for a vote of no confidence in a future speaker. He could be replaced and removed, unlike Paul Ryan, unlike Nancy Pelosi, both of whom would never in a million years be replaced by anybody because they were party bosses. Now, it is not completely hyperbolic. It is within the realm of possibility, although it is completely unlikely that McCarthy would be replaced by Trump. But it is possible now. Okay? This is categorically, absolutely possible. Anyone saying it's not possible is wrong. McCarthy has given up most of the traditional powers of Speaker of the House when it comes to his dominance over Republicans or other Congress people. Okay, he's not the same. He's not the same. He's simply not the same Speaker of the House. He's simply not the same Speaker of the House that you're used to, or that a traditional Speaker of the House. Okay, he could be replaced within a heartbeat by Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Byron Donalds, Lauren Boebert, anybody. Okay, Steve Scalise. That's the biggest issue that you have to remember if there is a deal tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, I believe that's 7 p.m. Pacific. So this video you will see it at what, about 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Okay, so but you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand that, or maybe 6 p.m. We'll make it 6 p.m. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that everything that needed to take place to prevent McCarthy from becoming McConnell or McCarthy from becoming Paul Ryan took place. I repeat, everything that needed to take place took place. If you have Trump and Lauren Boebert and Jim Jordan initially, and eventually, and then Chip Roy, who was holding out, he was one of the 20 Republicans, and 14 of the 20 Republicans who were holding out and preventing McCarthy up until today, if they say, hey, you know what, let's do business. I get Matt Gaetz is fantastic. I definitely think he has more integrity and political courage than pretty much every Democrat out there. I mean, Democrats would never do that. If Pelosi told Bernie Sanders, he'd say, How high do you want me to jump?" They just walk in lockstep. Democrats, they are within a political machine with party bosses that have absolute power. Pelosi went after the progressives in Congress routinely. Oh, that's just a couple of them. Routinely. And that's a cottage industry of, oh, we're going to hold Democrats' feet to the flames. And they don't care. You think the Democratic Party cares about progressives or left-leaning people? No. They have Bernie Sanders and AOC to funnel Green Party voters, people who would vote Green Party, back into the Democratic Party. They can't do anything for their constituents. The economy stinks. They say, well, the jobs are... It took 3 years to get back to where we were with Trump before Democrats and bureaucrats and authorities and experts and the highly educated tanked the U.S. economy because, we had to shut down everything. It was a choice. You didn't have to do that. It was a choice that possibly maniacs pushed for. But anyway, we're going into another recession. Inflation is still at 8 to 9% or 7 to 8%. Real wages are still down 7 to 8%. And we're going into the second recession with no end in sight in terms of foreign policy for a terrible, terrible quagmire that we're having. So, Lord Almighty. Lord Almighty. Sorry about that. That we have in Europe right now. So, we have a terrible, 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 terrible foreign policy, and economic policy is absolutely terrible. So, sorry about that. So, what can you say? What can you say? We don't want that back. You don't want that back, and you don't want that type of leadership. You want to prevent that type of leadership from taking hold of Congress. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is possible. This is a Financial Times article. I read a Politico article. Trump could eventually replace McCarthy. Anybody could. Anybody could with a vote of no confidence at any time. That never happened before. It might. I don't think, at least within the era of party bosses and political machines. Okay, the past 150 years or 120 years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel every day at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. on this on H.A. Goodman. We're almost at 203,000. So you could be the 203rd thousand subscriber. So hit subscribe. I love you all, and I thank you all, and I appreciate your support. I'm trying to make this as compelling and intriguing and enjoyable as possible because it's dry and boring sometimes, but this is exciting. I mean, we're witnessing history here. People will actually look at this as a moment in time where Trump Republicans fought back, but actually took over the House of Representatives. Okay, Trump has taken over the House of Representatives. He's completely revamped, revitalized the Republican Party. Okay, the reason Democrats long for the days of George W. Bush is that A, they don't care about endless military conflict. Democrats don't care at all. That's true. They don't care. I've spoken to people who say, how could you vote for Trump? And I say, well, he's the anti-war candidate. And they say, oh, so what? They don't care. Okay, like all like the hippies that you'd see growing up, in like sitcoms and stuff. And yeah, anti-war man. Those people they no longer exist. They would only revert to that, not because of value system, if Trump had gotten us into a new military conflict, and he was the first president in decades and decades not to get us into a new military conflict. But anyway, 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. every morning on this channel. I'd be honored to have breakfast with you in the morning, drive to work. Just hit subscribe and watch every morning. Just set your clock and your dial to 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. in the morning, because I will have I will have uploads and videos at H.A. Goodman in the Pacific time, 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. and 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pacific time. 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pacific time on H.A. Goodman's other channel. Become a member to my Patreons. I can't thank you enough. My Patreon is below in the description. And if you want to go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications, you can become part of a newsletter there as well. People, anyone could be replaced. They can replace McCarthy with anybody. The rebuttal would be, oh, well, they're not going to get enough votes. Anything's possible in politics. Anything's possible in politics. If Trump tomorrow said, you know what, I want to become Speaker of the House, he could overtake McCarthy in 2 seconds. Okay, he could get all the 20 Republicans and 30 or 40 other Republicans who were on the fence, and he could pay off McCarthy or whatever. Okay, that it wouldn't be difficult for Trump to become Speaker of the House if he wanted to. If there was a serious challenger to McCarthy that wanted the Speaker position, okay, what took place is McCarthy came in with 200 votes. So the 20 Republicans holding out wanted a whole bunch of concessions on declassified data, concessions on committee membership and power within those committees, and of course impeachment. McCarthy promised Trump impeachment. That's why Trump backed McCarthy. But you're not going to get Paul Ryan. You're not going to get Pelosi. That's what I'm trying. I mean, this is my second segment on this, and I want people to understand how important this is. It just took 5 votes to get. It'll take 5 votes, 5 Republicans, according to Politico, and I've read just one Republican can actually um, remove McCarthy. So this is actually a great thing. The people who think this is chaos and mayhem and this is a clown show, they're the actual clowns. They don't realize that when you don't have critical thinking skills and you live within some kind of computer program and you vote blue no matter who, and you worship media and intel agencies and party bosses, and you love censorship and you want to erase the First and Second Amendment, you want to erase freedoms because you think it's the best for you, and you would love tomorrow to shut down the economy, and you just want to, fund a proxy battle forever, you're a Democrat. So the world to you is, if Democrats have complete control and authority, because they're the authoritarians oftentimes, they think of that as normality. If a person is used to subjugating others politically and in terms of society, and they do so under the guise of helping you, that person is likely a Democrat. And they get a fabricated consensus, which they won't have with Twitter anymore, because government agencies and Twitter and Democratic officials were breaking First Amendment laws. Yep. It's funny how when they scream and yell authoritarian at Trump isn't the one that's censoring and suspending and trying to erase the First and Second Amendment and other amendments. That's not Trump. That's not Trump Republicans. Why is it the Democratic Party loves censorship? Okay. That was the worst thing growing up. That was the worst thing, my God almighty. We know why, because their ideas and their values, or I should say their ideas and their policies, their alleged value system I have, you have. Nobody likes, mean things or mean people, but you couldn't get more vicious people than the morally superior online. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I'm telling you, people, it's not a bad thing. McCarthy, with these concessions, eventually will be the Speaker of the House that even Matt Gaetz will eventually want. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. And he can be replaced by Trump or anyone. Give me your thoughts. Thank you. I'll be back in a couple of hours. I might have a live stream. I'm not sure.